So, hey, how you doing this Friday morning? Welcome to Friday Morning Devotions. I am very thankful to have you aboard. Thank you so much for stopping by each week and spending time together so you and I can practice iron sharpens iron and make our faith and our walk in Christ stronger through working out and working with and learning together as believers. So thank you so much again for your time and for stopping by to listen to Friday Morning Devotions. So I hope so far you're having a good Friday morning. Mine has been a good Friday morning so far, and thankful for everything that I have. As with everybody, there are times when life is up and life is down, and we all face those type of times. And when we do, it's important for you and I to understand that the down times sometimes can be the places in which that you and I can face and learn our greatest faith lessons. I was just reading that by Tony Evans this morning. Pretty amazing when you think about it, that the time we learn the most is when we sometimes hurt the most. And I got to be honest with you, it's that hurt that motivates us oftentimes to learn. So I don't like that. That's not comfortable. It's not even easy to say. It's kind of awkward to say. It certainly isn't something that our culture nor our current theologies embrace much. So, but welcome this morning to Friday Morning Devotions. Let's jump in. And as I do each week, I've got a question for you today. And so this afternoon, actually, I'm going to go support one of my favorite individuals, Mr. John Pearson, who is an individual who had faced leukemia a few years back. He was one of our clients when he was a teenager. I believe he was a senior in high school. And he was one of our clients, and he is currently the chaplain of the Grant County Sheriff's Department chaplaincy program, where the inmate and staff ministry is held there at the department. And so very excited for him, very excited for this new future for him, as he is the chaplain now, and the things that he's doing to reach out to officers and to reach out to inmates. So be praying for Mr. John. So today I'm going to go support him by helping him in playing in the golf scramble for the Grant County Sheriff's Department chaplaincy program. Now that doesn't sound like all of a sudden I said something big about support, but yeah, I know, playing golf. Yeah, okay. Don't even feel sorry for me, I know. But I got to tell you, golf is one of, if not sometimes, my favorite pastime. One of my favorite hobbies and my things and activities to do. So that brings me to the question, which is where I started this whole little rambling a few years ago. Okay, a few minutes ago. Seems like years, doesn't it? What is your favorite pastime? What is your favorite hobby or activity? What do you enjoy most doing? What is it, if you had the chance to do all the time, you'd do until you got tired of it? So what is your favorite hobby, activity, or pastime? Just comment down below. Let me know what that is. We can continue to compare notes and have a great time figuring out how much you and I have alike, or sometimes our differences. And through both of those, we can learn to grow together and love each other. So just comment down below. Let me know what's your favorite pastime, hobby, or activity. So today is week two of the series, Dangerous Love. And I want to jump into a topic today that is not normally associated with love. Now, when I get done, I hope you realize how much it's associated with love. But I got to be honest with you, on the front side, when you think love, the average person does not think of what I'm getting ready to talk about. There's a lot of things come to mind with love. Hugging and enjoying and your favorite person and emotions and tears and laughter and all kinds of things that happen when you're in love. But I wonder if these things mean love to you. Listen to them. Plug blockers, cabinet locks, railings. Wow, you say, those don't sound like love to me. And yet, if you are a parent, you understand why these items are a loving item. That you're actually loving your child by keeping your child safe. And so today I want you to listen to the words of a man who wrote some prose and principles a few years back. And matter of fact, a number of years, thousands of years back actually, words that stand till this day as true, and secondly, as words that you and I could heed and grow to love our Lord with. So listen to this father's advice to his son as he writes the following. My child, listen to what I say and treasure my commands. Tune your ears to wisdom and concentrate on understanding. Cry out for insight and ask for understanding. Search for them as you would for silver. Seek them like hidden treasures. Then you will understand what it means to fear the Lord, and you will gain knowledge of God. For the Lord grants wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He grants a treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity. He guards the path of the just and protects those who are faithful to him. Then you will understand what is right, just, and fair, and you will find the right way to go. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will fill you with joy. Wise choices will watch over you. Understanding will keep you safe. So, those don't sound like words of love necessarily, and yet they are. As a matter of fact, Solomon, who was one of the wisest men to ever live, wrote some of the wisest things we'll ever live by when he wrote the book of Proverbs, which is where that's taken out of, Proverbs chapter 2. But unfortunately, Solomon did not heed the very boundaries that he asked his son to keep. He did not heed the very laws that he asks his son to learn. He did not heed the very principles that he asked his children to embrace. And as a result, in the latter part of his years, he was tossed to and fro, back and forth, by many individuals that he had given his heart, mind, and body to. And so as a result, he wrote some of the wisest things and died as one of the men who made some of the most unwise choices. And so today I want to encourage you to listen to the words that Solomon said and to heed them and not to follow in Solomon's footsteps and forget the very words he knew to give to others. And to give you that illustration today, I want to talk to you about how God gives us boundaries, and when we find them, we will dwell in his love. I'm not a legalist, but even Jesus said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. And then he said, loving God and loving others is the greatest of the commandments. Which brings me to the Sears Tower. I know, kind of an odd place to go from there, right? Well, let me transition to this Sears Tower. You know, the one in Chicago. You see, I want to take you just as an illustration's sake. And I want you to think about if, for instance, we were 25 floors up in the Sears Tower, and I asked you to join me out on the balcony, this huge, beautiful balcony that I have off of the room that I have in my business here in Sears Tower. And I ask you, will you please come out with me and let's look at the Chicago skyline from my amazing balcony. And so we walk to the door, and I open the door up, and I slide it back out of your way. And when I slide it back out of your way and I point you towards the balcony I want you to walk out on, you start to step out and you realize that there are no railings on the balcony. Zero. Nothing. It is simply one slab. And if you get too close to the slab, most likely you'll get to find out what it looks like in the air between the 25th floor and the difficult hard ground below. You see, very few, if any, would step out into that situation. You know why? Because it's not safe. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't look safe. And for the most part, given the winds in Chicago, it really isn't safe to step out on a balcony without any railings. But imagine this. Imagine you did step out there and there was some of the strongest, amazing railing you've ever seen. Maybe very decorative and very inviting. And so you and many like you would step out and you'd look around and you would enjoy the skyline. You would actually enjoy your time on the balcony, 25 floors above the ground below. Some might get a little dizzy, a little tipsy because they're afraid of heights. Others might get just a little giggly because they can't imagine how beautiful and how much fun it is to be out there. But this is what I know. With those railings out there, not only will people go out on the balcony, but they will go out to the edge of the balcony and they will actually lean over and look all the way to the ground. You know why? Because of the safety of the railing. You see, you and I need to recognize that God disciplines those he loves. But I'm not talking about discipline like a spanking, although that is part of it. He disciplines or basically trains us to understand the boundaries that he has set up. And he tells us not to despise when he does correct us. And so you and I need to see that God understands what it's like to be loving, like a parent knows what it's like to be loving, and setting up safety things around us so that we will not get hurt. When I was a teenager, two blocks over from where I lived, a family which we knew had attended our church, or was attending our church, and we got the prayer request called to us that their child, I believe it was an 8-year-old child, had taken a knife and had stuck it into a toaster and had gotten shocked and burned and was unresponsive and being taken to the hospital. Man, it just absolutely shook us to the core to believe this little guy had been hurt so badly. But what he had done is he had went by the boundaries and had gotten into something that had actually caused him harm. And you know what? When you and I get outside of what God's love has for us, the amazing things, the abounding things, the freedom he gives us to stay away from the difficulties and the damage that can be created by going outside the boundaries, it's not loving to say to us, just go do anything you please. It is loving for us to have boundaries, for us to have guides, for us to have guardrails around our lives so that you and I can walk safely, drive safely, and go about our life safely. There's a reason why we call it out of bounds. There's a reason why we tell you to stay away. I played the game of baseball growing up. Can you imagine playing baseball with no rules? Can you imagine playing baseball with no baselines? Can you imagine playing baseball with no outs? Can you imagine playing baseball without anybody ever knowing who's supposed to pitch and who's supposed to hit and when that's supposed to happen? I can't imagine even enjoying the game of baseball, let alone deciding to play it. Because I can tell you this, when the rules are crossed on the field, not only do the manager and the players get angry, but the game is actually slighted because of the cheating. And so you and I need to see that God gives us amazing railings. He sets up guardrails on the roads of life. He gives us places we can go look over and see the beautiful skylines and see the beautiful world that he has created. But he asks us to not step over the railing. He asks us to not step outside the bounds. He asks us to play within the rules. And he doesn't do that because he hates us or because he doesn't want us to have any fun. And even though Satan or someone else may tell you it's just God not wanting you to have fun, it is a lie. It is an absolute lie. God not only wants you to have fun, but he says, I have given you life and I have given it to you more abundantly. He wants you to actually thrive in the world that he has created. And so you see, if you were on that 25th floor with me, you would be not only happy for railings, but you would not even bother to try to go outside without those railings. And so I want to close with just a few thoughts this morning. And I want you to just think about these and let these settle in. Maybe you're listening to me this morning and you're in a position where you've made some decisions or some choices and you think to yourself, how do I get back? Well, first off, just turn back to God and find forgiveness in him first. And then do what you need to do next, which is to make right the things you need to make right wherever and whoever you need to make them right with. Do not, listen to me, do not hold on to those things which will only cause your heart grief and pain. Come back within the boundaries. Come back within the rules, if you want to call it. And those rules are full of grace. And those rules are full of freedom. And those rules are full of truth. And you can live freely there. So listen up and let me ask you these questions. Is it unloving for people with balconies to put rails on them? No. It's not unloving. It's actually very wise. Is it unloving for God then to ask us to live within the boundaries he has set? No, it's not unloving. It's actually full of amazing compassion. It's actually full of amazing wisdom. It's actually full of so many things, so many blessings, that if you'll just hang out in them, after a while you'll find yourself more thankful than you've ever been. And you'll see things in a different light because you see them through the forgiveness God has given you, and you see them through the freedom he has given you to stay away from the sin which separates you from him or hurts the relationship you have with him. And then last, and to close with this thought, isn't it really more fun when you can understand and play and minimize or no one at all gets hurt? Isn't it more fun that way? I think it is. I believe you do too. As a matter of fact, you fight for fair all the time, and you seem to know when someone's treated you unfair. Why is that? Because there's railings, because there's boundaries, because God has set eternity in your heart, and you know right from wrong because the very God who created you set within you the desire through natural thoughts, feelings, and the very natural being you are. C.S. Lewis called it the natural law. It's how we know right and wrong even before someone tells us right and wrong oftentimes. We know when we've been stolen from, and we think it's wrong. Why? Because there's railings, because there's rules, because there's right and wrong. And you and I need to see that God's statements of right and wrong are his statements of love to us. They are love letters written to you and I that says, stay here because this is where love abounds. And watch out. Don't get outside the boundaries because that's where hate, evil, sin, and degradation lives. And you walked away from that when you came to Christ. So don't go back to those things. Don't go back to those things. Hey, thank you so much for listening this morning. Thank you so much for your time. As you finish up this morning and as we finish our day together, let me ask you this question again. Golf is my favorite pastime, hobby, whatever word you want to use. So if you would, comment down below and tell me, what is your favorite hobby or pastime? What is your favorite activity? Just write your comments down below. Let me know. Let's comment. Let's enjoy. Let's talk a little bit and have a little bit of fun. And I hope you have a great Friday. I hope I have a great Friday. I think I will. I hope that I hit them straight. I hope that I hit them long. I hope I hit them in the hole faster than everybody else. I don't know if that will all work out, but I'll certainly be giving it my best try. And I'll be doing it with 3 friends. And we'll be laughing, cutting up, and enjoying some time together because it's fun to work together, to play together, and to love together, and to understand that the boundaries mean something and that we can actually find fulfillment and satisfaction in them. Don't forget to share Friday morning devotions with your friends and family. Bye-bye for now. Hope you have a great Friday and an amazing weekend, all right? Y'all take care. God bless.